This week on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
By this because I was willing to take responsibility. I was willing to apologize sincerely. To not be able to say anything that you've done in this is truly lacking self-awareness.
I'll work on my self-awareness. I appreciate
what
the
is
tip.
up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 5, Episode 7. Let's get right into this. Okay, you guys, we got a lot to talk about. So we begin the episode right where we left off last week at Angie's dramatic mob wives party. All hell breaks loose when Whitney confronts Lisa and tells her that she has evidence that Lisa put a rumor about Whitney's business out there, which, by the way, we have now come to find out in present time that it is not true. Some bloggers I don't know the whole thing, but long story short, it's not true. Lisa didn't do it. The problem, though, is that Lisa lost control. She gets on her phone, starts threatening to call the police, which, again, let me repeat, Lisa is actually innocent of what Whitney's accusing her of, but I don't think that the reaction that she had, like this one, helps Lisa's case in the moment. Lisa goes up to Justin, Whitney's husband, and says, I don't know how you deal with your lying wife. Justin says she's not a liar, she's not an effing liar. John, Lisa's husband, then gets mad and starts pushing him, and the women have to break them up. I think it was wrong for Lisa to go up to Justin. I don't blame Justin for defending his wife because Lisa went up to him. And for what it's worth, I don't blame John either for defending his wife. They were both defending their wives, just in different ways. So Angie calls everyone to come together, even though Whitney and Lisa were mad, told them to hold hands. Mary did, because Mary was doing a prayer, a little blessing. I really love Mary and Angie's friendship. I really do. Even though it was a nice prayer, Whitney and Lisa were still screaming like crazy people at the party. I didn't do it. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. It was crazy. Lisa then tells Whitney, I would never do that. Like, even if I hated you, I would never put that out there. And Justin was right there. Lisa was talking to both of them. And Justin says to Lisa, well, why are you calling her a liar, though? And then out of nowhere, John rushes there, and it looked like he was about to tackle Justin. He's like, don't talk to my wife. And Justin says, I think he was probably talking to like the producers. He was like, I'm going to beat his ass if he doesn't get out. I agree with John. Justin doesn't need to talk to Lisa. But Lisa doesn't need to talk to Justin either. And that's what she was doing. But that was crazy. And that was the end of the party. So the next day, they show Justin and Whitney at their house. And Justin is pouring out and throwing out every product that has to do with Lisa and her company. He says, they don't support us, or we won't support them. That is so petty, but kind of funny. Justin says that he tried to stay calm, but John was coming at his space like he'd never done that before. Whitney says that she thinks Lisa wanted this whole fight to distract from her issue. We also see Lisa and her husband in their house. He feels really no remorse for what he did in the moment. He says that he saw something in Justin that he hadn't seen before, like a lot of anger. But he and Justin are friends, so he would like to get in a good page with him. As far as Lisa, she's mad at Whitney, and she says she's going to have to beg me to ever look at her. The next scene is Heather at a beauty lab, and Brittany goes over. Brittany says, last night was crazy. And Heather's like, yeah, did you see the fight? And Brittany's like, oh, I'm talking about me. I'm talking about Jared showing up. Because remember, Brittany took a new date to the party named Aaron, and then Jared Osman showed up. And then she's now confused more than ever. Heather tells Brittany, listen, Brittany, I love you, but you are coming across as a crazy person. And Brittany says, that is so condescending. It's so hurtful. And I was just saying, I'm sorry, Brittany. That might be hurtful for you to hear, but I agree with Heather. You are looking like a crazy person on TV. And then Brittany says that she just feels so alone. She isn't talking to her daughters. Her mom died. She starts to cry. I do feel bad for her, but she's going to need to wake up. Next up is Bronwyn and her husband going to eat. His name is Todd. He works in New York, so he's out of town like a lot for like most of his time. Bronwyn, this was funny. She likes to pick up Todd from the airport every time with a costume. Literally like a blow-up costume of like a shark, a turtle, a unicorn. these crazy inflatable costumes. Oh my gosh. So she discusses with him that their 10-year anniversary is coming up, and she is thinking of doing a nice little trip to watch a race, and why not invite the ladies? She's not inviting Brittany, she's not really cool with her, and she's on the fence on Heather, but probably will. They also talk about Gwen, Bronwyn's daughter. Todd was very upset that Lisa found out, because remember, Lisa was really good friends with Gwen's biological father, and Todd doesn't really like the idea of Gwen reaching out to her paternal grandparents, because he says that they've been horrible to not just Gwen, but to Bronwyn as well. Bronwyn says that she too is still very angry about everything, but she doesn't want to show Gwen that anger because she doesn't want that to get in the way of Gwen possibly meeting up with her grandparents. Moving on, Lisa is hanging out with her younger sister, Denise, who is visiting her. Lisa is telling her that she and John are so codependent, that John defended her the other day, that she loves him, all this stuff. But then her sister asks her, how is Lisa's young son doing since his older sibling is gone? Lisa says that he is struggling a little bit because when Jack was here, he would always include Henry. Like when Jack would be with his friends, Henry would be there. And she says that the other day, she was like throwing a birthday party for Henry, and that all the kids his age ended up going to another party and nobody went to his. That was so sad to hear. I was like, oh, that sucks. That's so sad as a little kid. I can't imagine that happening. Lisa says that she doesn't want to let her kids down. Moving along, Whitney, Angie, and Bronwyn are going on a walk. Whitney says that she's still pissed and that Lisa and John owe her and her husband a huge apology. Whitney is still adamant that Lisa is guilty, and Angie says that she wouldn't be surprised if it is true because she says that Lisa likes to get back at people. And Bronwyn says that she's cool with Lisa, they've been good friends, so she hopes that this is not true. Then Bronwyn invites them to this get-together, this getaway that she's doing with the women and their husbands. Not Brittany, but thinking about maybe inviting Heather. Speaking of those two, the next scene is again with them. So Brittany is having a church meeting. They're calling it Mormon Family Night. She invited Heather and Angie. Angie came in with a gift and a bottle of wine. Mormons can't drink, but clearly that doesn't stop them, at least Brittany. So they are singing some hymns. They do their meeting. Brittany's dad is there. He says a few words. When the meeting is over, Heather tells Brittany and Angie that Bronwyn invited her to go to her house the next day. Angie says that maybe Bronwyn wants to be friends with Heather, so Heather should just keep an open mind. She personally likes Bronwyn and likes that Bronwyn is direct. Heather says, direct? I think Bronwyn is slimy as F. Angie says, well, Bronwyn was pretty direct by saying that you, Heather, should have came to me and not taken my information to Lisa. And Heather says, I did come to you directly. I told you not to mom shame Lisa about electronics. Angie says, I never said anything bad about her being a parent. I never called her a bad parent. I never questioned her parenting skills. But you took it to her like that. And Heather says, who told you that I took it to her like that? Angie says, well, Bronwyn said that Lisa was crying about it. Heather says, Bronwyn doesn't effing know. She cried to me. Angie thinks that this is typical Heather, though. Trying to sit at the cool girl table so she will do whatever it takes to defend that person. And Heather says, are you, talking about Jen? Because Angie says to Heather, I've seen you do this before. I've seen you support people even if they're wrong. And Heather's like, are you talking about Jen? And Angie's like, yes. And she says, I feel like you are going out of your way to defend Lisa after everything that y'all have gone through, and you're not showing me any loyalty. Heather says that Bermuda changed things for her, and that Angie bringing this up will make her think things differently. I'm sorry, y'all, but Heather is so fake. So fake. Then we see another scene. Okay, so John, after struggling to parallel park, he goes into a restaurant to meet up with Justin. John starts talking about the appetizers and what the drinks they're going to order. It was awkward. But John says, listen, we clearly have different perspectives, so we should give each other the opportunity to tell our side. Justin says that he was surprised over the whole thing. He was surprised that Lisa came at him, but he obviously was going to respond. And John says that he saw a lot of anger from Justin, but what really did it to him was that he saw Justin take a step forward. Justin says, okay, I get that and I can understand that. But what about the second time when you came and shoved me? And John says, I do apologize for that. That was just like a built-up reaction. But John then tells Justin that Justin should apologize to Lisa. But Justin doesn't feel like he owes an apology to Lisa. So everything was going well until John suggested that John should apologize to Lisa. I see what John is saying, but this is just my opinion, I personally don't feel like Justin owes Lisa no damn apology. Lisa owes everybody at that party an apology for acting that way. I mean, because think about it, if he apologizes to Lisa, Lisa has to apologize to him. And then if he, like, it would be just a whole thing of apologies. I don't think there's any reason. I mean, what other thing can you say? I'm sorry that I cussed at you. Okay, maybe. But other than that, I don't think Justin owes her no apology. And if he does, again, then Lisa would technically owe him an apology as well. Anyway, that was that. Then this is the last scene of the episode. So Heather goes over to Bronwyn's house. I really don't get what Heather's beef is with Bronwyn, but Bronwyn is showing Heather the house, showing her some different rooms. It's a very nice, big house. Unfortunately, there was a lot of dog crap and pee on the floor. That's what I will never own a dog. But I do like Bronwyn's house. I like how artistic it is. But clean up after your dog, Bronwyn. Come on now. So then they sit down, and Heather says, I'm surprised you invited me. I thought you didn't like me. Bronwyn says, yeah, I thought you didn't like me, but I feel like we have not really spent enough time, and we kind of had a rocky start by you telling Whitney things that I said. So yeah, I equally told Angie what you said too. And Heather says, well, you telling Angie was messy. And Bronwyn says, yeah, I mean, I could totally call it messy, and I can apologize for it, but you've been messy too. And Heather says, oh, well, you must be a saint. You must do nothing wrong. Why did you even invite me? And Bronwyn says, well, I invited you because I'm planning a trip and I don't want to leave you out. So I kind of wanted us to meet and kind of see if we can move forward. And Heather says, oh, so I'm here so I can earn an invite to your trip? Ugh. Bronwyn says, why do you feel like I should apologize for the things I've done, but you should not apologize for things you've done? Is that what you thought you were going to come over here? Did you think that's what was going to happen when you were coming here? Heather says, well, I didn't know what I was going to expect coming here because you are unpredictable. You talk about people behind their back and you have a squaring humor. Bronwyn says, well, you have a squaring humor too. Talking about me as a friend, you talked about my marriage, you said that my husband was stupid for not getting a prenup. Heather says, you're mincing my words. I feel exhausted. I want to leave. So she gets up and leaves because she's exhausted and sick to her stomach. And that's how the episode ends. Bronwyn calls the lack of self-awareness that Heather has. And here's my thing. Heather's being obnoxious this season. I don't know what it is. She thinks that she's better than everyone. She's being very arrogant, so nasty, and so rude. I mean, Bronwyn called her with the best intentions, but Heather came in there with a nasty and rude energy. So she's not going to the trip. Bronwyn didn't want to, make her feel left out. But Heather doesn't even have a husband, so it's probably for the best that she's not going. But that was the end of the episode, you guys. And then we saw a preview of next week. And y'all, this is going to get crazy because this is going to turn into Love and Marriage Huntsville because it's going to be not just the woman, but the husband. And it's going to be husband and wife drama. So I can't wait for that. But y'all let me know what y'all thought about this crazy episode. What did you think about Justin and John sitting down? What did you think about Heather and Bronwyn? Let me know your thoughts. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. You have a great one. Bye.